We are excited to welcome Fredrica Dede Ozoki, a prominent gender and youth advocate and GRASAG National Gender Commissioner, to the Fang Start Founders Talk. She will be sharing her expertise on the intersection of technology and wellness in her session, Ethical AI for Sexual Reproductive Health in Ghana. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Good evening once again. And
Good evening.
You're welcome to this session with Fun Stats. So to set the tone for this conversation, please tell us who you are, what you do for work, and what drew you into sexual and reproductive health, especially for young people.
So my name is Fredrica Dede Ozoki, and I am the Gender Commissioner for Graduate Students Association of Ghana at the national level. And I am a student reading MPhil Sociology, majoring in gender, and with a major focus on eradicating toxic masculinity, eradicating teenage pregnancy, and then child prostitution, and also empowering young girls and boys on their sexual and reproductive health rights. Yes, so basically, let me say that is who I am. I love to read, I love to eat, and I love to sleep too. So yeah, this is a little I could say about myself. And when it comes to sexual and reproductive health of our young ones, I would say that there is some improvement one way or the other. With the little that I have done, there's some improvement in some of the rural areas I tend to visit one way or the other. But I would say that with the question on the sexual and reproductive health rights, I honestly didn't get it. So if we could rephrase it, so you get me? Yes.
I do. So the second one was, what drew you into SRHR?
What
drew you into SRHR? Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So SRHR has been my passion for a long time. Yeah. But it got to a time when I became the Women's Commissioner for UCC, the 30th Women's Commissioner for Graduate Students UCC. I had a project on breast cancer where I felt, yes, the students had to hear the side of survivors, and we were also supposed to educate. Just like I said, my nature is eradicating negativity from the grassroots. So we had to also educate a basic school, especially the girls who have started having their menses, and in these rural sections or sectors, as young as 10, 9 or 9, 10 is having sex. So why don't we educate them? Some are even mothers. The youngest mother in Central Region is 9 years. So why don't we educate them on what breast cancer is, what you have to do to stay away from unwanted pregnancies. So speaking with some institutions, I got to know that all that is under SRHR, sexual and reproductive health rights. So I was like, okay, then that is it. I'm already into the field. Let me just go into it and then preach the good news. So yes, that was what drew me. I already had a passion for it. Yeah.
I think that made it very easy for you, because then it wasn't you hearing someone talk about it or some people into it and you getting interested. But you have somewhat answered my second question, which is, from your experience so far, what would you say the pressing issues are in our society, especially in Ghana? What are the challenges that you would point out to say these are the ones that we're actually battling with currently?
Okay, so we are living in a society, an African society, where sex is actually a forbidden language.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that's the first challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But it is something that most people engage in. So if you don't speak about it and then you don't educate anyone about it, they wouldn't get to have a fair idea of how to stay safe. Because one, we have HIV/AIDS on the rise, we have herpes, we have a lot of STIs roaming in the system. So the first challenge I would say is the fact that the society speaks ill on sex and reproductive rights. So if I'm a young girl and I come to you and I'm speaking to you about how to keep yourself away from unwanted pregnancies, and if you should get pregnant and then you do not want the child, we have legal ways of aborting a child or legal ways of aborting. So with all this, if someone is not educated on it, the person would end up having a whole lot of complications. Some even tend to lose their life. As we speak now, I'm even working on one that the girl actually had to take some concussions from a friend because she had to abort a baby she didn't want. So it is something that is in the system, yet it's not spoken about. The second one, when I would say from experience, it's finances or financing. This is actually a very complicated issue. We tend to move a lot to rural areas, and so some organizations are not ready to sponsor anything related that 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 perception or that concept when it comes to teenage pregnancy, when it comes to protection. So it's actually very complicated since most of these organizations also have funding from international organizations. So let's say a recent SRHR project I did on HIV/AIDS. Okay, we needed money for some one or two things when it came to the media, when it came to feeding, when it came to transportation. Just talk of it because we needed more people to partake in the activity. We needed awareness creation when it comes to social media sensitization, just to talk about it. But there was no funding, and that had to come from my own pockets. But it is something I love, so it's yes, of course. I wouldn't say it is entirely enjoyable because yes, some more resources are going into that. So yes, we spoke with Ghana AIDS Commission. Ghana AIDS Commission said, okay, they do not have enough funding, so they will do some one or two things, and of course, that is their strength because when it comes to SRHR, international organizations, some have cut off their funding for such projects. So it's difficult embarking such projects unless you are firm, you are so grounded that yes, you know that this one is going to be successful. And then if it is not from your own resource, then wherever you get your resource from, you have to get it just to make sure that it works. And then I would say another challenge is the fact that most young girls tend to feel shy of, let's say, the men that are into this project because they want to talk about sex with you. They want to talk about how they are being molested. They want to talk about their menstrual hygiene. They want to talk about, we ladies, we have a whole lot of complications when it comes to our reproductive health. So they want to have a fair idea with you. So they want to have a fair conversation with you. So the other challenge is the fact that they have the fear of being stigmatized. Yes, they have the fear of being stigmatized. So that is another challenge. It's actually withholds the young ones from coming to seek self-care. Like I feel that should even be the major challenge. Yeah, that should be the major challenge. So let me just go with these three. But aside that, there are others. So
Okay,
when
sure.
we talk about societal norms, when we talk about financing, when we talk about the fact that they have the idea of being stigmatized. And yes, the other challenge is also with peer pressure. Yes. So let's say Albert is my friend and I'm having some talks with Albert, and Albert is telling me that I shouldn't speak to you because you are going to send my issues outside. And of course, I'll listen to Albert because Albert is my peer.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, I would give this four challenges that yes, I'll give you just these four challenges.
sure. I think
Yeah.
that has been very elaborate, and you touched on stigma. That
Yeah.
was actually the next question I was going to ask you, and so I'll just ask a follow-up,
Okay.
and that is to say concerning still on stigma, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
Where do you see it causing the most harm? Would you say at home? Would you say in our schools or even in health facilities?
Okay, so I would say none is left out.
Hmm.
It's everywhere. So at home, at school, even our churches, and even in the hospital, it's not easy. Like stigmatization is everywhere. So I chanced on a girl who was, I think, 15 years. Okay, was it 15 years? 15 or 14. Sorry, it's been a long time. I had that encounter. And, as a teenage mother, she went to the hospital. And the fact that she wasn't wearing the ring, she was being stigmatized. Why should a young girl like you go and get pregnant when your friends are in school, when this, when that? So now that young child cannot even go to the people that this health personnel, this healthcare personnel that, oh, this is my issue. I have been raped by this. What can I do so I don't get pregnant? You get it? Or I want to check my HIV status. How do I go by it? But the fact that they will go to the health facility and then they'll be stigmatized by the people that are even there, we will not even let them go there. There was this issue I had from a friend. My friend, I have a lot of colleagues outside, like not just outside. I'm not talking about outside, like health facilities, like how Albert is in the computer sciences. You get it. So, one of my friend, I was like, so do young, because I'm concerned when it comes to the youth. I'm concerned when it comes to children. So I asked. So he went for an internship and I asked him about the cases where the youth come to check for their HIV status and how do they take it. So he was like, okay, so funny enough, the other colleagues are scared of injecting the other people so that they take the blood sample to check for the HIV because they have always been instances where they have been pricked by needle and then some have gotten some of the HIV. So the fact that there is already a record there that you have HIV, if you are going for anything about blood testing or lab testing, you would see that. Now, I'm scared for my life because I don't want to also be tagged with HIV. I would tell them I don't want to. And that is where there is another stigma where now that person would feel like, okay, then why am I even going to the hospital? Forget about that. The society. I'm talking about the hospital. So I'm done with the hospital. Now let's talk about the society. The society entails the churches, the schools, just to talk of it. And here lies the case that, SRHR initially, the stigma was so high that unlike, yes, it's still there in the society. So if let's say someone should have HIV/AIDS, the stigma will be, hey, this gentleman has HIV/AIDS. And now everybody wants to stay away from that person. And that is where they then tend to have a mental breakdown, which leads to the highest, that's one of the highest leading rates to death when it comes to people living with HIV that cannot speak up because of the mental breakdown. And we also see teenage mothers in the society. The fact that you are a young girl, that you didn't get married in the church, or you didn't get married at the mosque, or wherever the society feels it's right for you to get married. And you go and get pregnant out of wedlock, then it means that you are not worth it to be called a woman. It means that you are not worth it to be called what's the name? You are not worth it to be in the midst of people. So out of that, some people tend to break down. Depression kills a lot of people. So as a teenage mother, what can I do? Now the society do not want to help you because now you are doing what adults can do. When automatically there was something that led you to have that sex, there was something that led you to get pregnant, and there was something that led you to keep the baby. So out of this, the stigmatization, the society has a funny way of stigmatizing. So I would say that, okay, fine. We call it stigmatization, but I call it age racism. I call it age racism. I don't know how others would call it. With the stigmatization, of course, we know. But when it comes to age racism, it feels like, why am I not a human being? Because you're older than me, you want to push me away from you. Yes. So basically the stigma, it's something that is there, and then it can be solved, but it's going to take a while.
I completely agree with you. It would take some time, maybe even more than we think right now, because
Right.
I think it just stems up from where we are from. Because in these
Yeah.
parts of the world, it's a bit difficult to talk about those things.
Yeah.
But let's quickly talk about AI in relation
Okay.
to SRHR. We're
Yeah.
seeing a rapid growth in AI-powered tools. How can you say that realistically we would be able to support sexual health education for young people in Ghana using AI?
Okay. So this is actually one of the reasons I accepted the invite for this interview, because we are living in an industrial era. We are living in a computer era. My old mother would say, or my old grandmother would say, we are living in a computer era where any little thing, you take the computer and then you get the information you need. AI has come to stay, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
And it hurts me so much that when I've been trying my best to seek sexual and reproductive health advice when it comes to AI, when it comes to child prostitution, when it comes to let's talk of it. But it hurts that it violates their policy. Why? That is a question I've been asking myself for a very long time. Why? So I am a young child. I'm concerned about my reproductive health. I'm concerned about, because we are in a society or a generation where it's difficult for the youth to ask questions. Very difficult. They'd rather prefer to be on their phone, search on whatever they want to search. Make sure that, oh, I'm having some headache. So maybe this light headache, I know it's migraine, but I would like to read on it to know what it is, rather than they going to the hospital to ask. So I feel the AI, yes, of course, it has come to stay, but um, there's a little. I think I've moved away from it, right?
I think we're still on track.
We are still on track. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, AI, we can use AI in a way, but it hurts because as a young child going to look for an information on the on AI for anything relating sexual and reproductive health rights, I don't get to get the information that is really needed. Yes, I know Albert will fight with me over this, saying that yes, you need to give it the right word so that you get the right information. But as a young child, how am I going to know the right words to I'm just saying it like how I feel. But yes, we can use AI in the right way when it comes to checking our sexual and reproductive health rights. So one, we could look at it from a perspective of defining the age limits when it comes to that. So if let's say a young child of 10 years, 9 years, or 11 years is searching for such information using I feel AI should have a message for that age. So that you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
A message for that age. If myself and then any other and if myself and my other MPhil colleagues, if they have any idea, if they want to get any information to on SRHR, it should be towards their level. So yes, so I feel yes, AI yes has come to stay, but it can help one way or the other when it comes to SRHR. On a regular, we those that are into this advocacy when it comes to SRHR, we use AI when it comes to defining our targets. We use AI when it comes to explaining better on our reports. Like I've gone to the field and I need a good report for like UN. Of course, I have my report written down, but the AI is going to gear it towards the UN direction, how UN wants it. That is the positive aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a positive aspect because at the end of the day, you tend to correct your CV. You get to correct your report writing with the AI, and then make sure that everything is right. But it will be difficult for you to get things relating SRHR on with Meta AI or with any other AI at all. Because yes, it violates their policy. Anything relating sex, rape, sex rape, abortion, just talk of it. SRHR is broad. SRHR is broad. So yeah.
Yeah. So I think I personally have experienced a challenge with AI, especially with regards to sex and abortion. I personally have encountered that because then they would not state certain things outright. I think they try to polish things up and all of that. And so it's something that I pretty much understand you. But let's move on to talk about ethical AI. We should be rounding up soon, but concerning ethical AI, I think in youth sexual health, what would you say actually it means in practical terms, especially when minors are involved?
Ethical AI and
did you get that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so I was saying, what would you say it means practically, especially when minors are involved?
Okay. So ethical AI, I would say it means using AI in the right path. So I wouldn't say the ethical way, which means that I'm still saying whatever has been asked. So I would say using AI in the right path, in the path that is accepted by the society. So you see, you need to focus on let's say if the society wants it in the A form, and then you feel you are right, so you want to go to the B form, ethically it's wrong. So using AI, it should be in the right path, in the right channel, so that yes, everything will be okay when it comes to the youth involved. So AI is stealing from you without you knowing it's stealing from you indirectly. Yes, but with minors involved, we should also be very careful with what we search. We search for online. I feel it would be prudent we engage them in person when it comes to the minors. Engage them in person. Let them be able to open up to you. If they open up to you, they wouldn't run to AI for help. And it has gotten to a stage where, yes, of course, we use AI for a lot of. So with minors involved, ethically, we should search for informative stuff that at the end of the day, if a minor should pick something up, it would be easier for the minor to understand virtually everything that is on the line on the internet.
I completely agree with you. So talking about privacy, I think it's one thing that's very important to us young people. Even I think where we come from is just something that's really important, and that's why we don't have a lot of conversations related to sex in our society. But then if we're to talk about how sensitive it is, how can we ensure that our privacy as young people and our data is protected?
This is actually a very good question. A very good question. When it comes with confidentiality, you get it. Yes, because even I would say the society lacks that, especially when it comes to confidentiality. So let's say I speak with my mom. Let's say, okay, 10 years and I speak with my mom that, oh, mommy, I had sex with this guy. And unless your mom, or let's say, oh no, 10 is it's too much of a minor. I'm 18, okay, or yes, I'm 18, and then let me say I had sex with someone. And I've told my mom, yo, don't let anybody hear about this, or you would see that my father will hear about it. My uncle will hear about it. Even my great grandmother in her grave would even know that I've had sex with somebody. So that is where confidentiality, like now confidentiality is broken. Now at the hospitals too, we tend to have people that nurses that at the end of the day they see other patients and they laugh at the patients. Like I'll tell the other patients that, oh, you see this guy, wait, he has gotten gonorrhea and then he's walking around. You see, confidentiality is broken. You get it. So now, if me, the person, to come again, then it will be difficult for me to share my issues with you. But if we are sitting together as a society, looking forward to making sure that the society is actually a peaceful place for everybody when it comes to the mental aspects, when it comes to the psychological, physical, spiritual, emotional. Please, let's talk of all the nows. When it comes to all of that, and then we want everybody to feel okay within it, we have to take away the fact that I will come to you and speak to you and tell you that, okay, keep this confidential. It's between me and you, but you end up sharing it with others. We need to stop that. We need to, because one, it's we the people. If I don't share it with you, you wouldn't get to know. And if I don't share with you too, I'm dying slowly and I need someone to talk to. That is how it feels like. So in this society, privacy is very important. It is important when the information, the confidential information you are giving, is not supposed to be said at an open space. So you see, I'll call you Albert, and then I'm coming to speak about something confidential with you. Then Albert will put it on speaker. That's one disrespect on my side. You get it? Because at the end of the day, if I wanted the whole world to hear, I would write to Joy News, BBC, and everything. I would even put it on the internet for them to see, but it's confidential. And then I want you to know about it. That's why I'm speaking to you. And it's not, you see, we shouldn't blame people who share their issues with people they trust. But at the end of the day, it tends to come out. It's because one, they die slowly within. So they sharing it with you meant they trusted you. And they sharing it with you at that moment was their privacy. It was shared in a private section. Like, it's just like me having sex with somebody. I had it in private. And then at the end of the day, the pregnancy showed that, yes, you had it in private. You get it? So now, what we will do is that we have to, this is not anything about sex or about pregnancy or anything, but I'm saying it in a way that if I have it and I'm not pregnant, nobody knows. If I have it and I'm pregnant, everybody will see the results of that. And that is where it is done in secret and yet a private place, but it becomes confidential between the two partners. Do you get it? It becomes confidential between us. So in order for us to achieve privacy very well, confidentiality should be the key thing. Because if I can't tell you confidential stuff, then I can't tell you anything in private.
I completely agree with you. So we have like two more questions and then we can close our session for today. Okay. So still on ethical AI. Do you think Ghana is ready to adopt ethical AI in public health?
We are still in the growing stage. You see, Ghana wasn't like this at the initial stage. So we are still in the growing stage. I believe a time is coming where we would use AI in the right way. Ethically, we would use it for our good. Yes, AI is not harmful unless you want it to be harmful. So in years to come, Ghana is going to have sexual and reproductive health rights done in an ethical way using AI. So I could search any information I want when it comes to sexual and reproductive health rights, when it comes to abortion, when it comes to seeking mental health, when it comes to rape and all that. I believe Ghana is going to get there.
Yeah. I actually would have asked a follow-up question, but you mentioned
feel free.
So I wanted to ask if there are key gaps that you think we still need to fill.
There are gaps we need to fill.
Or address, I should say.
Yes, we have. My professor would say that there are so many gaps. So many gaps. make change in the society to fully identify that gap. So I wanted to create a change in the society, and I got to know that no, sexual and reproductive health rights is something that is not spoken about, but it's something that each and everybody has privately. So yes, there are so many gaps, so many that I can't even talk of. We have the gap when it comes to menstrual cycle. We have the gap when it comes to abuse, child abuse. Child abuse, whether it's mentally, psychologically, physically, we have a gap there. We have a gap when it comes to women that are being raped. That we have a gap. Okay, let me say rape. We have a gap when it comes to rape. We have a gap when it comes to children involved in prostitution. Not just the women, but the boy, not just the girls, but the boys as well. We have a gap when it comes to we have a lot of gaps. I can't even mention them. But when it comes to the nature of SRHR, there is a huge gap that I feel we need to sit up towards that. We need to sit up. Yeah.
So talking about sitting up, I think you've been so proactive that you are able to link me to the next question.
That's fine.
Let's have your final message or your final words, especially to young people or tech innovators who want to build AI-driven solutions in sexual health.
Okay.
What would be your advice to them?
My advice. A friend once told me that advising someone it's more like you pushing the person to do what you want. So I would rather say that in the next years to come, I would love to see a huge change when it comes to our AI section in the sexual and reproductive health rights. I would like to see that, yes, of course, organizations have made it easier for some people, or have made it easier for this gap that we were talking about, those that have been raped, those that have been molested, those that have been abused, to share their issues with them. But how well are their issues solved? I believe these tech developers, I believe those that are into ethical or AI would create more AIs that would be able to identify major needs, so major problems, major gaps, and solve those issues. Solve it so that it wouldn't keep repeating itself. So yes, that is what I would like to see. I would like to see that tech developers, I would like to see that our future global leaders or our global leaders would sit up, come together, look at it from a perspective, create AIs that at the end of the day, I would be able to share my problem, a confidential problem, in my own private space. And at the end of the day, it is not going to go out, because just like I'm going to share my problem with AI is also going to share my problem. Meanwhile, I want it to be between us. So it should be done in such a way that at the end of the day, I'm sharing my problem with no fear of anyone intruding into my privacy, with anyone stigmatizing me, with anyone, just like the way someone's what's the name? A leaked video would come up. So let's say I've had something in my private room. Okay, I've had something in my privacy, and then at the end of the day, it leaks. Of course, I'm human. You get it. But if tech developers, that is where the sexual and reproductive ethical AI comes in. So if tech developers are able to liaise with what's the name? The
Cyber
Cybersecurity.
Yes, cybersecurity. Yes. If tech developers are to liaise with those into cybersecurity, trust me, if my naked video should come online, AI should be able to pull that down. Or a tech developer should be able to work with a cybersecurity agency and make sure that no, this is not supposed to be on the web. So why is it here? You get it? Why is it trending? For as long as you hear that something is trending, it should be able to clear off everybody's phone. Because at the end of the day, we should always put this in our head that the internet doesn't forget.
Never forget.
So if AI, we are looking at it in creating a better future, then AI developers or tech developers should learn to work with cybersecurity agencies, because these things that are being leaked, these things that are being dropped each and every time, it is not because they want to drop it. It is because probably there was a tech problem somewhere. There was a fault with the phone or something that led to that. So at the end of the day, it has happened. So yeah, that will be the little or the more I would like to see in the future. Please, this is not an advice. This is what I want to see in the future.
Sure. Thank you very much for sharing that. I personally like that you mentioned that they should prioritize anonymity and then I think security, right? Those were the two.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was nice having you. All too soon, we've come to the end of today's session.
Right.
And this is me saying we appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, on to Albert. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. All right. So, thank you very much, Fredrica, for coming on this interview. Yes, and thank you very much, for making time to host this amazing interview. And you're all looking very good this evening too.
Hey, you are always praising us, Albert.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so I think we can bring it to an end, right?
Yes, that's true.
Right. Have a very nice evening, everyone.
Yeah, welcome.
Enjoy your evening too.
Enjoy your evening too. Nice meeting you all.
Meeting you too. Sure. Bye.
Bye.